Okay. All right.
Whoa, Ernesto, we are live.
Yeah. The it's a bit hot in the Caribbean right now. I mean, all the islands are suffering. All the islands are suffering.
Listen, you need to hear my fan going. I don't have a AC where I am right now. So it's hot.
Yeah, it is. It is horrible right now. Really, really horrible across the Caribbean islands. It's when I tell you terrible, 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 terrible. People have been complaining. I've been getting a lot of calls, and I gotta let you guys know that yes, the flu is going around again. It's not really the flu per se,
Flu.
right? What we call, yeah. It's actually, and COVID is not going away. I mean, it can still call its name. It's not a problem. It's not going away. They stated that before. I think all of us know that by now. It is really not going away, and different strains of it are still around. As a matter of fact, up to this morning, I saw on CBS News and different newspapers in Baltimore
Mm-hmm.
that cases are flying off the roof again.
Mm-hmm.
And this is they're saying this is just about as school is getting ready to open. So a lot of things are happening even within the bigger countries. Don't think that we don't have it. We a lot of us in the Caribbean recently had a lot of what I would call festivals, or the big carnival, this, that. A lot of foreigners came in and they dumped their COVID strains and many of us who mingled and mixed with them. And so it's left here now with us to deal with. I have to say that I saw in the CNC Tree newspaper yesterday out of Trinidad that the COVID cases are on the rise in Trinidad.
In
The-
Trinidad, yes.
yes, the ministry said it's nothing new. It's here. It's part of it's something in the so it will continue to be around. But the cases are rising again, and I just want persons to take note of that because that just came in time. When was Trinidad Carnival? Was it in
In February.
right now? Is what in
And now in
August?
August.
It's just fanciful that it should have been on the rise since March, April, right? But
Yes.
you won't hear anything. What is very interesting about this is that recently, I think it's last week, CAFA, which is the Caribbean Public Health,
Mm-hmm.
and the UK, UK first, I think it is. I have to make sure I get that correct, but maybe I'll check it after.
Mm-hmm.
Had a meeting in Trinidad for different health officials where they were looking at preparing for another pandemic. So let's just not get it twisted with the flu, the COVID. Everything is always just bubbly and nice, and it comes in time, and we take it for granted that these people are just saying, "Oh, well, it's just normal, it's around." Everything is just, So I just want people to know that they were having a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
They are talking about planning and getting ready for the next pandemic and
Right.
how the UK can help the Caribbean in whatever ways and all of that. And then added to that, I saw about a week ago, and I didn't go through it overall to see what it was about. I saw that CAFA was saying that they had a new website or something to be launched, which was from a pandemic fund. So we're hearing the word a lot these days, whether it be in the United States, whether it be in Canada, whether it be the Caribbean. They're mixing it up with the news and telling you different things about pandemic, but nobody's saying that there will be a pandemic. But if you listen to all of the health gurus around the world, you hear them say all the time, it's not a matter of um, when it will happen; it's when it will happen again.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Mm-hmm.
all we all know it's on the fly, it's up and up, and everything is going just in a grand scheme of
Yeah.
things that people say. But I just want everybody to be prepared, and people who are feeling this flu, it's not the flu. Ensure that you have your vitamins, your immune system is on par. Drink a lot of water. The place is hot already, to it. It's very hot, so you have to hydrate a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
and yeah, go ahead.
I was telling you, somebody here is saying, it's happening here too. What is this country? Is this Antigua or which flag is this?
Um, Let me see if I can see.
Which
Let me see if
flag
I
is
can.
this? St. Richards, where are you from? It
Okay.
looking to me like Antigua.
It has to be Antigua. It has to be Antigua.
Yeah, but I wanted to those of you who are watching, Stan Richards and And Tina Johnson. Oh yes, she's saying it's his Antigua's flag.
Yeah.
Well, we know for sure it's happening in Barbados. Those of you who are watching, are you finding that a lot of people are catching the flu? There's a lady who is close to me, and she's been down for days now. With this thing. It tried to hit me on Saturday. My feet started to get weak, my lower body, but it just lasted a day or a few hours, and I was out of it because we tried to do all kinds of different things, Ernesto, natural things. So anybody else, anybody noticing, be careful. That's what Ernesto is saying to us. Be very careful. Make sure you're on your vitamins. If you can go plant-based for a little bit, that's very helpful. I did that in COVID and it helped me.
Yeah, you have to during this period of time, you have to at least try a little plant-based diet, just for the timing, because I tell you, this thing, if your immune system is not put together and in tip-top shape, that's it. That's it. It's gonna lick you up. It's gonna lick you up, and you're gonna be down for not days but weeks. And then the
Yes.
doctors are gonna push the antibiotics down your throat, which we know antibiotics don't really work for respiratory virus. It's respiratory. I mean, please, let's be normal here. I don't know why people do this in the Caribbean, but that's just the way it is. Big pharma has to make money. But that is what it is. Your lime and your lemon and your grapefruit and everything is good for all these things. But just pay attention to what is going on, because I just wanted to note those little things to you where the meetings was held. You're hearing about cases rising. There's a pandemic fund open up for the carbon. I'm just telling you how they're going in step by step, and while we're not paying attention. And what is to notice, Marcia? I'm gonna let people know that people are not paying attention anymore to this issue of pandemics because it's gone. That's how we think in the Caribbean. That's how we do. A lot of us do business.
Yes.
A hurricane comes, hit us, gone, and 2 weeks after the hurricane, even though all the ravages and the damages are still around and
Mm-hmm.
things are still happening because of the weather, we just tend to brush it under because, oh, it done gone. Now I ain't about that again. They move on to something else now. No, 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 no. Those days are long gone. When you move
Mm-hmm.
on from something that happened, there's no more moving on anymore because these people don't move on.
Mm-hmm.
They take step by step and they continue to develop on what they do. That's what they do. They don't just bring something and leave it alone. They
Correct.
develop they develop on it and make it worse. So it continues growing. It's like a cancer. And then it eats
Mm-hmm.
you out if you don't pay attention to it. So I
Mm-hmm.
just want people to pay attention to what is happening around them. Your Ministry of Health in all of these islands are not saying anything. They're not saying a single thing. They're silent as a ham. I don't even say lamb, I say ham, the dead.
Except for Trinidad, because we saw where they're saying
Yeah.
that they're seeing an increase, but we're not hearing anything
But
else.
guess what? The reason why they said that is because somebody in the media wrote something and then they had to respond.
Yes.
That's how. But
Yes.
outside of that, they would not have said anything. That's what they're doing. Nobody have no time on anybody. You must remember that when we had the pandemic, everybody was in our face every Monday morning, whether on Facebook, whether on TV, telling us that these are things that happen. We should do this or do that. Now you don't see
Correct.
anybody. Nobody's telling you anything. You don't even know how people died. A humper died in the Caribbean, and that's something that we'll have to do in another program too. All these excess deaths you're floating across the place here. That's something
Mm-hmm.
that's another program.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
just putting people on notice with that, um, about this issue that's happening. So we
Yes.
leave that
And,
right there.
and the very last thing on that, because somebody's asking
Hmm.
about what did I take. I drank a lot of bush tea, and of course
Yes.
we're not doctors, so we're not
Yeah.
trying to provide medical information. I'm just saying I drank a lot of bush tea,
Yeah.
and I switched off. I tried to go plant based for at least 2 days or so, 3 days, to get that body and make sure and the vitamins and the rest, and I was back up. Yeah, but
Nothing is wrong with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
go
Well,
right
yeah. So we leave that. We leave that where it is because that if we discuss that, that is going to take a whole program, and I think we could talk about that all day. People would love that one. So
Yes.
that's a program by itself to come because I don't think this is finished yet. But anyway, let me get to the topic at hand, which a lot of people may not be paying attention to as well, which
Mm-hmm.
is the U.S. and its warships in
Mm-hmm.
the Caribbean. The U.S. military deploying its forces to southern Caribbean against drug gangs that are groups, whatever. That's what they're calling it and saying.
Mm-hmm.
They send them to the southern Caribbean. The southern Caribbean will be that stretch of sea going across the whole South American continent to the top at least, where Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, coming across to Bonaire,
Mm-hmm.
Curacao, all those islands, and then from for us down in the Caribbean, Trinidad, Barbados, all down here, St. Vincent, Grenada, Southern Caribbean. It's the Southern Caribbean. Even up to
Yes.
St. Lucia, people call it. Even up to St. Lucia, people call it the Southern Caribbean. And
Mm-hmm.
so, what I'm saying to you, that's what they said. They're sending them down here to deal with gangs that are doing transnational shipping of cocaine or weed, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
They're talking about Chenderagua. They're talking about that gang from Venezuela. They're talking about that one from Mexico, which is more than one.
Right. It's
They're
this.
branding, right?
Yeah.
And they're,
Sinaloa cartel.
that's correct. And they're branding them as terrorist organizations. So once they do that, the US will tell you that they have a right to move their assets to places which threaten their homeland.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they operate. You can't do it. You can't move your assets from Barbados and tell them you're putting it to Florida because there's some people coming from Florida and bringing guns into the Caribbean. So we're moving our assets into your backyard. You think you
Right.
could do that? You think Barbados could do that?
No, we
Think
couldn't.
Barbados Defense Force could take the Coast Guard and say they're going off Florida, and the one from Trinidad and the one from St. Vincent say that they're hoes because do that and see what happens tomorrow
But, but,
morning.
but, but Ernesto, I mean, people don't realize it's how many. Actually, the reports, according to Curacao Chronicle, is saying approximately 4,000 Marines and soldiers are involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not a small thing. In fact, this seems to be the largest deployment that's what they're saying,
It
that this
is.
is very over 4,000 Marines and soldiers are deployed in our waters.
Well, somebody will tell you, somebody else will tell you that they deployed more than that before. Maybe you don't know that. Somebody will tell you that, who don't like you.
Might be,
They will
yeah.
tell you that. They will tell you that.
Mhm.
You know how they are. I tell you that. But I tell you something. It's one of the
Mhm.
largest is ever deployed into the Southern Caribbean. I can tell you that.
That's
Their
what I
coast,
meant in the Southern
yes,
Caribbean,
yes,
yeah.
their coast guard usually trails the Southern Caribbean. They do that all the time. They run up and down this place. That's normal for them, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when you have military assets
Mm-hmm.
with nuclear submarine and all, you know something is
Yes.
afoot.
In fact, they're saying they have planes, and
Yes,
that's they have
yes,
they would call it P-8 reconnaissance planes.
correct, correct.
And they said at least one attack submarine. I was
Listen to
wow.
me. There's a nuclear submarine. Yeah, of course,
Uh-huh.
it's once it's nuclear, it's an attack. A submarine. It's clear. It's a nuclear submarine. The US don't send nuclear submarines to just float around. We don't have anything on it that can be of use to them in case
Mm-hmm.
anything is to real. So let us get straight to that. Some people want to be naive. I don't like to be naive. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
It sickens my stomach when some people talk about, oh, it's just drug interdiction, and be nice to them because they're nice to us. We get to go there into America. Listen to me, those days are done. Those days are
Mm-hmm.
done. This is the empire reasserting its power in the world. It was losing its status, and this is
Yes.
the empire. This is the empire reasserting its status.
You know that because I was discussing this with someone recently, and I think while they're talking about Venezuela, their
Mhm.
eyes are on China, and they believe that China is enlarging itself in these parts. So
Correct.
this is also, I think, because if you look at what is happening there in Panama, you see,
Right.
right. So all of this, they're also eyeing China, But I understand what you're saying. Wow.
So here's the problem with that now, because you're very correct. And what is happening in the Caribbean and what is happening to us, we are now getting caught up in a geopolitical war.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us, these things go over our heads, right?
Yes.
Because it's too big for some of us to contain or take in.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why I often say that what we do is so important because a lot of people go on their phone daily to TikTok, they go to YouTube, they go to Facebook. They really waste a lot of time, right? They waste a lot of time. They watch foolishness, as I like to call it, right? They don't pay attention to the things that matter to them, and they will tell you, so what? What can I do if the US send a warship? I could stop them? No, that is not the point. Stop your idiosyncrasy. Here is the point that you need to understand. We are caught up in a geopolitical war. Our leaders have taken sides already. So who will support Venezuela will support Venezuela. Who will support China will support China. Who will support the US will support the US. There are two proxies. As a matter of fact, there are more than two proxies in the Caribbean. You see, but Jamaica, full-blown US backer.
And Guyana.
Barbados, full-blown US backer.
And surely Guyana, because of the oil with Venezuela.
Guyana, full-blown US backer, at least for their security guarantees. They must keep sides with the US. They have no choice in the matter. All of ExxonMobil is down there in Guyana, siphoned its oil, taking out oil. That's a US asset. What people must remember, once the US has assets anywhere, they want to protect their assets. And that is what they do when they want to get into a territory. So they take out oil, we have assets. So we have some CIA working on the assets. We look like oil rig men. They're not only people who work on oil rigs. There's CIA assets there. There are US military assets working on the oil rig who look and appear to you to be oil rig people just walking normal, but there are assets already in place.
But look, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, look out for the other one now. Trinidad has now signed its deal with ExxonMobil, so they're now in Guyana and they're now in Trinidad waters. You know what that means? You remember last year there was this big cabal and big bravado about Rowley signing an agreement that could give Trinidad. You remember Rowley vehemently denied that? The US kept very silent. They didn't say anything about that. He was the one. He was the one that kept running his mouth and said he didn't do anything, right? Okay. So ExxonMobil is now happy to be here in Trinidad signing oil agreements. So we now have two assets in the Southern Caribbean. Trinidad, Guyana.
Yeah. And then you have countries like your country, St. Vincent, Dominica, and Antigua, and they're more
Venezuela.
They're more friendly ties with Venezuela. So this whole thing could test our commitment, to each other. The Caricom is being tested because once US is here, the question is, how is that going to affect our relationships when you have some are with the US and some are with Venezuela?
Well, remember I said a couple of weeks ago on a video and I told people that this Caricom thing, people don't like. You see, I think sometimes, Marcia, I think about just sometimes not to worry myself too much with mankind anymore in terms of doing what I do here, like what you're doing. I am just thinking I pay more attention to myself and my family and don't worry too much with people.
Yeah.
Because there comes a point when if people don't want to help themselves, you just have to leave it alone. Because the more you give to them, the more they think that something is wrong. The problem is here. I said to people, and I've been reading all the Caricom books. I've been reading all the Caricom information I could read. Marcia, Caricom to me right now, I will say, and people may say I am wrong, but I am saying Caricom is a non-entity right now, and I'll tell you why it's a non-entity. We've been going at this Caricom business for years. We have a block of people in the we call Caricom. I don't even think we're more than 2 million people in Caricom. Up to now, we can't even get what you call this thing, movement of people correct. Up to now. Yeah. I don't know what it will take for them to do that. The European Union have over how much hundreds of millions of people. You're talking about almost 29 countries in the European Union. Some kind of Schengen visa waiver. You can move to those areas free once you come from these islands. So they're different nations with hundreds and millions of people in different nations, and they could do that. But you were just 600,000 people, 700. You can't even come to that common understanding up to now. You're still fighting with that.
Exactly.
After all these years, Caricom is still fighting with Caricom free movement of goods and a Caricom union till now.
Yeah.
And people want to tell me, when I tell them Caricom is a dead and a non-entity, people tell me, want to cuss me and tell me no, and how I am not a Pan-African, this and Pan that, this and Pan whatever. Listen to me.
But the fact is a fact. When you look at what is happening, and right now, this is that unity, that fragile unity, is obviously going to be under threat, because you have a couple, some of them here. There are only what, 7 countries that have come together, right? And now you have 3 over here, 4 over here. Here comes US, come in the middle now. What's going to happen?
Marcia,
So it's just
Marcia,
a matter of time.
we are going to get fractured very heavy. Very, very, very. We're gonna fracture. They're gonna conquer, divide Caricom and mash it up. That's what they're
Correct.
going to do. That is their aim for anything that is causing a. Listen to me. People don't get this thing, Trinidad, Venezuela, Guyana on the other side. That's a little arc they're forming there. Trinidad,
Right.
Venezuela, Guyana. Then pick your side. Pick your side. So who do I support? Do I support the US dealing with that problem there? Or do I support China dealing with this problem over here? Who do I support in this matter? Guyana also has a lot of ties with China. How are they going to deal with that?
Correct.
How are they going to deal with that? Who's
Those are
fighting?
I have to jump in here because you're reading my mind. Ernesto, I am saying, what is Guyana really doing? I see in Jamaica we have a saying, Ernesto, calling Boti. So I'm saying, I see Guyana over here with China, flirting with China, Guyana in bed here with the US. What is it that they're really doing?
you have Guyana flirting with China, flirting with US, right? Their security guarantees are coming from the US. That's number one. The security guarantees are coming from the UK. That's number 2. Also, the European Union. Also, they have some security guarantees with
Right.
Canada as well. So then you have China flirting around with a lot of businesses in Guyana. A lot of projects being done in Guyana, right? Then you have Venezuela on this side over here. Supported by whom? Russia, China. They say when you lie down with what they say, puppies and dogs, they get fleas. And then you have, when a man, they say, like to run around and flirt around with different women, you end up with AIDS. You end up with some destructive disease. That's what it is.
Yeah.
When you do that, when you jump from here to here, you end up with some disease, right? So
Correct.
so Guyana is putting themselves in a predicament. Jamaica is flirting and messing around too, putting themselves in a predicament. This whole thing called Caricom, where everybody wants a loan from China every morning, which is Barbados, Jamaica, Guyana, all of them.
Yeah.
Very soon, Caricom will be no more. They can say all they want. Mia Motley came to the last Caricom meeting and people do not listen to anything, for heaven's sake. I don't know what it will take for people to listen and understand. She said, there are forces that are looking to recolonize us. That's what she said. She said it in plain English. She said we could be recolonized. And then she went back into her speech. People like they don't listen. You think these people say these things out of isolation and just make strange statements? They know what they're talking about. We don't listen. Some people tell me the US is a dead empire. A dead empire?
No, it's not.
A lot of people don't even understand what is happening in this universe. Yeah. They have no idea what is happening. They hear a lot of things and they don't know. I keep telling them, stop listening to these AI videos that they listen on YouTube and inform them wrongly.
I wanted to, when you finish that point, I wanted to just read some of the comments here, and then we look now, how does it, after I read, then what we could do, Ernesto, is look to see how does it affect us the citizens in the region. Let me just read a couple of them because we want to keep them
Go right ahead.
yeah. Stadex says this is America's last hurrah. After this they will go bankrupt or end up in World War III.
America, America won't go bankrupt.
Yeah.
America prints its own money. It could print money from now till the end of time. It will never go bankrupt. Let's get out of that one. And the reason why I said they are empire and they are removing themselves, they're coming back with this issue of stable coins, which is the crypto and the Bitcoin, whatever. They're using stable coins. That is to reassert the currency as its gold standard currency in the world. They know exactly what they're doing. Up to this morning, China is now saying we may have to switch the yen to stable coin as well. All these, listen to me. You see, I don't want us to get caught up in this geopolitical war neither, right? And this game that they play with us, because they're playing a game, and they
Yes.
want us to take sides. All of them are in lockstep with each other. As much as you see them fighting against each other and playing it, pushing on this game that they're doing, they are all in lockstep with one another. And the whole idea of what they're doing is to keep you, the masses, under control. Don't take that the US is going to tomorrow morning to bomb down the whole of China, or China is going to bomb down the whole of America. Not going to happen in your wildest dreams. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. This is a game that is being played on humanity.
On the people, and I love what you said there. I love what you said there. Stan Richards is saying the U.S. has divided and ruled us since in the late 1970s, and this is what, if you listen to the tone of this program, we are defending the Caribbean. We are Caribbean citizens, and what we are saying to all of us here: be careful of how we are taking sides. Do not let them come, divide and conquer, and then in a boardroom they're all together, because everybody chasing the coin. All right.
That's the point.
So
That's the
very,
point.
very important that remember.
Yes.
What is Patricia Green saying here? Let's hear her. Patricia Green says, thanks, Caribbean. Link up this program will be very educational for me, as I'm not versed on a lot of these regional issues. That's why, Patricia, we're asking everybody, just take a moment and to share. Today we're going to finish a little earlier than what we planned to, but we want you to share, so that others others can enjoy. And Lewis is saying that they're watching from Trinidad. I got that flag right. I support Yahuwah. I guess Jehovah. He's more powerful than the US and Venezuela and China combined. It's all about Guyana's oil and soon to be TNTs. We got, oh my goodness, what you want to jump into this, Cooke?
Well, that is what it is. And to back the person's point when they said that Yahuwah is in charge of everything, that's right. He said he rules in the affairs of man. So whatever man think they're doing, he still is in charge of this planet here. The point about it is that I really don't want us, and I've seen it happen when we had the last pandemic. And then after the pandemic, and we came back now to this issue of tariff, I saw a lot of people taking sides with the US when it came to the tariff. They were cursing us about this whole thing we're talking about the Caribbean, what the Caribbean should do. People must understand your home where you live is more important than another man's country. People go to the US, they try to make a living, they come out and they come back and they try to get a home, they try to do what they have to do. I keep reminding people when they leave the Caribbean and they go to the US, that is not your final destination. Do not get so entrenched in a next man country, especially when you head to these bigger countries. Don't get so entrenched in what they do in their politics and in their policies that you lose sight of what they're all about. And a lot of our people have lost sight of what we should really be all about in this Caribbean here. That is building this Caribbean here, making us ourselves self-sufficient. We have been blessed to be put on rocks that are so fertile, and there was a reason why these rocks are so fertile. But you know what we do? We turn around, kick the rock, and take our cue. from those countries. That's what we do, you know.
Yes. Yes.
We have rocks where we can plant all the food we need, and that keeps into people. You see, this what is happening down here with Trinidad, Guyana, Venezuela in the middle. You will
Mm-hmm.
need your own food. You will
Mm-hmm.
need your own food in your backyard. Start planting your own
Start
little
planting.
vegetables in your backyard. I keep telling people this. Stock up. If you could stock up on grains, stock up on it.
Yeah.
People not listening, you know.
No, they're
But
not.
but I'm saying again, Caricom is getting divided more and more. Trinidad is not in a good place, Marcia.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like to hear about their countries in a bad place, but Trinidad is not in
It
a
is
good
a fact. It is truth.
You're hearing about ministers under threat from gangs and wanting to take out ministers. You never heard that in the Caribbean like that before, really. People looking to kill a minister. That's a lot. People don't even study those things in the Caribbean. You're hearing that in Trinidad now. The crime is gone full blown again. It's almost like the SOE never worked. Trinidad not in a good place. Guyana is not in a good place. With all its progress being made right now, it's still not in a good place.
But look at us here in Barbados with the weight of debt that we have. We're under a weight of debt from the U.S. Weight of debt we owe China. So here it is. You know, Barbados. We are in a very, very funny position because our lenders are the ones that are bringing in this military part of the ones bringing in the military force. So what we're going to be forced to what we're going to be doing. And when you think about Ernesto, our tourism as a region, what is going to happen to our tourism dependent islands? You have the Barbados, Bahamas, Jamaica, we have St. Lucia, Antigua, not so much St. Vincent. So what we're considered to be a peaceful destination. That's how we're marketed.
Yep.
Now, when we have this warship and the rising U.S. Venezuela tensions, are we going to deter visitors? What about cruise ships? Is it that cruise ships are going to avoid our waters because they don't want to come near the conflict zones? And how would that affect our local economies? These are things that we have to think of, which goes back to the point you were making about us as a people going back to the ground. Go back and go. I was in my garden this morning, watering my okras and my peas and my melons and all of that. Go back to the ground because the tourism will be under threat. With all of this happen with this U.S. military ships in our waters.
You're correct, very correct. We're highly dependent on the tourism. And once there's a conflict zone, nobody enters the conflict zone.
Exactly.
Nobody really goes to war-torn countries if anything is to break out anywhere. All of these islands will be in serious problems, Marcia. All of them. When there's a problem anywhere, people look to go elsewhere. So if there's a conflict zone here, okay, maybe we'll ditch this conflict zone for a while and we'll head now to the Pacific where it's tropical and sunny too. Right? That's how the world operates. People don't wait around, right? And if we don't start to think about how we're going to deal with all of these things, that is where our problem comes in. And you see, this is going to happen. You see, this is the problem I'm having with all these Caribbean leaders, Something is happening right in your backyard. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's saying nothing to your people. That happens in the Caribbean. You don't hear a statement from Trinidad. You don't hear a statement from Barbados. You don't hear a statement from St. Vincent. You don't hear nothing from nobody. You don't even know what the hell is. If you don't look to read for yourself, which many of our people don't do, they don't even know these things are happening. We just don't know what is happening. Listen, agriculture is going to be in problems if there's anything in Guyana, because Guyana produces a lot of food in the Caribbean.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's awesome.
You understand? Guyana produces a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Food stuff, agriculture stuff. They just employed Caricom countries to take up land to plant in Guyana. If anything is to break out anywhere, you think anybody could do any planting of food in Guyana? They can't do it. Nobody wants to plant food with planes flying overhead every second. You don't know what the hell could drop on your head. Nobody knows nothing. So that's a problem we have right there.
That's a major point. The food
that's
is
what
a
I'm
major.
saying to you, Marcia. These people calculate what they do to people. and regions and zones around the world. They calculate how they do their business. So Guyana will be a problem with the food. Trinidad produces a lot of stuff in the Caribbean. People
Yes.
ship stuff into Trinidad. Trinidad
Yes.
take these produce, make stuff, and ship them back out in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell do you think is going to happen to Trinidad economy? If Trinidad, if Venezuela is seeing Trinidad as an enemy of the state, as they're already looking at them as, what do you think is going to happen? They have one to the north and they have one to the west. What do you think? What do you think will happen to us? Do you see how strategic this move with the military is to damage this Caribbean here? Do you see it? It has nothing. This has nothing to do with any damn gang. These gangs have been parading these waters for years and years and years.
Yes.
They've been under Bush. They've been under Biden. They've been under Obama. They've been under this. They've been under that.
Listen, Ernesto, the more we're talking, and I hope that people realize that this is really about rule. This is really about rule. This is really fighting us, fighting China. You know, ultimately, they don't want that control for China to be ruling in the Caribbean. It's about who is ruling us. It's almost like we're going back into this colonial, as you said.
That's what it is. That's what
You know,
it is.
it's who we're looking at. And when we look at our sovereignty, and our security. All those things are under threat. The U.S. Is going to ask regional countries for port access.
That's
What is
correct.
going to happen? Intelligence sharing. What about sharing intelligence and legal adjustments? What's going to happen there? And what about the Caribbean nations that decide that they're not going to comply? I want people to think about that. They are going to want to have our port access. They're going to want us to share intelligence. Right, they're going to want us to make legal adjustments to some of our legislations in our countries, and when we don't comply, right, when we resist, what's going to happen? A further split within Caricom. Those who follow the U.S., who obey the U.S., and those who do not.
Well, you have it. You could write a book. You have it done right down to the T, because I just mentioned one part and you came in with the other part. Because right away, you made it point. Port access, legal systems, we have to share the information. You're very correct about that. Then I talked about the agriculture, the food, the distribution.
Tourism.
And then I talked about tourism, people going elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at a total capitulation of everything. They're cutting off your head again and bringing you back to Massa days.
Mm-hmm.
You have to depend on them for every single thing. They just brought in the tariffs, right? They heard a lot of us down here saying, well, we're not taking that, we go plow our own food too because we can't depend on you. So what do I do in response to you going to plant your own food? Let me mash up this thing before it starts so that you could spend whatever little money you still have on my market and buy the food from me, right? You hear some of them saying, I can't do it without the Cuban doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And they're rebelling. And what do? I want to slap a visa on the officials from Grenada because their mouth open, talk too much too, right? You see, people, I don't know, a lot of people apparently, I often say, we have to read and understand the correct things.
Yes.
Don't spend too much time on these foolish TikTok videos you do every day. Don't spend too much time on the nonsense that flies down your Facebook stream every second. These things are to keep our mind addled from the reality that's out there, the reality that's going to affect us. Because things will hit us and we don't even know. We don't even know. It will hit us. We'll just wake up one morning and hear that the price of this has gone up because there's some tensions between Venezuela and the US, some military assets, and we hear the prices, everything in the Caribbean has gone up again.
Mm-hmm.
People.
Wake up.
Get it together. Yes, get it together. There are military assets on these platforms, these oil platforms in Guyana. There will be military assets on these oil platforms coming into Trinidad.
Yes.
We are going to be locked into something, this is not going to be pretty. It's not something to scare you. It is something for you to think and to
Reality.
understand, yes, what is happening around, and prepare yourself for any eventuality. I hear people tell me all the time, prepare how? Prepare how? They get vexed with me. Well, what the hell do you mean prepare how? When a hurricane is coming, what do they tell you to do? They say get 2 drum, keep water just in case for 4 days the water ain't come back. They tell you buy some biscuit, some sardine, just in case the supermarket they mash up. What the hell do you mean prepare how?
Yeah. You
People
know,
take people just take these things for granted. But anyway, go ahead.
yeah, we're at 1:30, at 1:31 actually, and I know that you have to go, guys. We started about 12:45 today, a
Now
little
we
earlier.
I'll skim off another 10 minutes. We'll go till one
Yeah,
first.
yeah. But I just wanted to, for those who are just joining, we're looking at the U.S. The whole idea of the U.S. Sending
Yep.
warships to the Caribbean and the impact on the citizens. And what we're saying is that we, the citizens, might find ourselves
Yes.
caught up in this struggle, in a
Correct.
global power struggle. Is We believe that this is what is going to happen just to ordinary Caribbean people. Tourism, you just rattled off a whole set of things there that could be affected, or agriculture. We're talking here about our sovereignty or security. And is it that are we ready, because we could be caught in the middle of a power struggle?
Yep.
And will we, the citizens of the Caribbean, have to pay the price for superpower rivalry? That's the question. Are we the citizens having to pay? Will we have to pay the price for superpower rivalry? This thing between, now you're dealing with the US and Venezuela and China, and are we
And
get caught up in it?
and,
Are we ready?
and
Go right
eventually
ahead.
and eventually Russia will come into the game because Russia's back in Venezuela.
Correct.
And listen to me. Keep your eyes on this thing, eh? Stay focused. Stay focused. Because there is never really a time when there will come a time when they will say peace, peace. Listen to this, good, eh? There must be major conflicts for certain people to make money.
Mm-hmm.
You're hearing about they're trying to wind down the Ukraine-Russia business. That is probably almost in the cards now to end, right? There must be another conflict zone after.
Yes.
There's never peace with these people. There must be another conflict zone after. Just be mindful. That's all I'm going to say. Let's not say that we're
Wow.
saying they're going to fight war here. Let's not say that we are going to fight war here. All I am saying, there's always need for a conflict zone with these people. They're never
Yeah.
satisfied. They're never satisfied to see anything within peace. There must always be a conflict zone somewhere. And for the
Ernesto,
long
you are so right.
and
You
for
are
the
so
longest
right.
and for the longest of while, Marcia, they have been teetering on the brink of starting up this thing down here in Venezuela. They have been teetering on the brink. They've been doing it. They've been doing it for a while now. All I have to say, prepare yourself.
Superpower rivalry caught up, because here you're gonna have, man, we have to end, but here you're gonna have, no, you're gonna have Russia, China with that Venezuela thing, and you have US.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the Caribbean countries are supporting US. But what happened? Our soldiers will be with them, fighting with them, and what happened? Are they choosing us as a war zone? Is this what is going to happen? We got to open our eyes, get ready. And as Ernesto is saying, don't get distracted. There's a viewer here who was saying that that same thing to all of us. Don't get distracted. Tamika Harper says, we as a people are very distracted. When we don't comply, we will be treated like Haiti. So guys, we've come to I think the end of this program for this week, and it's just so interesting. Ernesto, we will be back again Thursday 1 o'clock, where we seek to educate the people of the Caribbean. And this has been very enlightening. And I'm hoping that those who are watching, that you found it enlightening. And if you found it enlightening. Truth conquers, and you're telling us time to prepare. I need you to share this with a friend. Go on, when even when it's finished, share the link. We're gonna link up. This is a link up, the Caribbean. This is the link. You share the link, folks, and let us get stronger as a people. Last word
I,
to you,
I,
Ernest.
I think I think in the next program we have to go back on this topic
Yes, we need to.
because there's some that very important element that we did not look at. We, whether we like it or not, will be drawn into this if there's any conflict between Venezuela, Ghana, and the US. We
Mm-hmm.
will be drawn into it. And I'm not just talking about as a region because planes will be flying over or they'll be using our waters to pass
Oh,
their ships. I'm not speaking about that. A lot of people don't understand why when you sign agreements with certain countries or governments, and this you see sometimes that when you form alliances, you
wow,
have,
that's
you
deep.
have you have to be very careful with the alliances you form. There about one, two, three, four, maybe 15 or so countries in this Caribbean has formed an alliance with a South American country that will be caught up in this problem. And that is how Oprah will be drawn into this. That is the next topic. I'll leave it right there.
Yes,
This topic may have 15 parts based on what is happening in this place here. So
correct.
make sure next time you come, get prepared to hear about that alliance which will caught our brothers and sisters in it.
And listen, and that's why even Haiti, which is part of the Caribbean, we need to touch on that as well, because you see the US is there, they are buckling down, and they're coming down with a fist on Haiti. And so all of this is about them showing their strength, asserting their powers, and because there's something afoot. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
everybody,
thanks a lot.
for joining. Yes. And please make sure you subscribe to St. Vincent Times, subscribe to Africa Bridge TV channel. Go ahead and do that and share this link. This is called The Link. All right. God bless you.
All right, take it easy, guys. All right.
Yes. Bye bye.